Okay, hello guys. Welcome to the DCA voice chat, drip and ecosystem chat. I hope everybody is here and ready. We're still waiting for a few guys. I'll just tell you guys. Okay, we're gonna do the drip and the ecosystem talk. So you're welcome to put a few questions in the chat, or if you want to say something, just tap that little round button in the middle that says you're live, to unmute it. And if you are not speaking, then just mute it. So that will be all. We can start the chat now. Is everybody ready? Uh, Rakesh, the club will do a few um, competition-based prizes, so everyone that stays till the end will get a big surprise. So yeah, okay. I think we can start with the questions. Anybody in the group? Hopefully you can all hear me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear
we
you.
can.
Hello.
Oh, he left. Oh no, he's still here. We can hear you, Phoebe.
I think
Phoebe.
Phoebe, we're okay. Phoebe, the chat says our audio is good, so
Okay.
Phoebe,
Great.
come on.
All right. Okay. So the question I had is the drip ecosystem. Um, how is it sustainable, and what's the mechanics behind it? Can you guys give us a bit more information about it? I see there's a lot of new people in here, a lot of guys here in South Africa as well, and in Gibraltar, that like has been invited to join Drip. Um, Personally, I haven't had 2 hours to explain the whole thing, but I think they have the basics. But if we could maybe get them a bit of deeper information about the whole ecosystem, that would be nice.
am I good to go, Phoebe?
Go for gold, brother.
Well, basically, I think it all lies in the future of the things that Forex will bring out. If we kept it as it is now, with just the tax system, I think over time you'd probably see that supply keep going up and up and up, as we have saw in the last month or so. Just the taxes from the vault and things like that. But what Forex is going to do is going to take it away from that Ponzinomics in the future. The farm will help a great deal with the deposit fees, 1% in, 1% out. That all goes straight to the vault to pay everyone that claims. And the layer 2 faucet, we don't know much about it right now, but I think that will be really key for fresh capital coming into the system. We don't really know all the details yet, but if it's anything like things in other protocols, that will really help the deposits, and then you get more taxes from that as well. But the big thing for me will be the scratches and the lending that comes later, well, probably next year now, because that'll take it to a whole new level. If you think about all the money we get coming in now, with the buybacks from the Scratchy, that's going to fill the vault up every single day. And that'll cause the tax vault to fill up, which will put less pressure on the supply, because you're going to have a constant stream of money coming in, like a buy pressure all the time. And in my opinion, that'll take the whole ecosystem to a new level. The drip token, I think, will do really good price action when everything starts to launch. And if you play the game right, I think you can. Well, my end goal is to never have to sell drip to make money, and I think you can do that in Animal Farm when it's launched with a mixture of the pig pen and drip as well. And we've got the garden and all those good things. But the taxes from the farm and the Scratchy and the lending. The lending's going to be so incredible for drip because people are going to make so much money from their own drip. The whales that sell, they'll not sell anymore. They'll make more holding, and for me, that's where that sustainability comes in. And we can see drip go to prices we've not seen yet. In my opinion, it's going to go so high next year. Sorry, did someone say something?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's DeFi Logic. I've
Yeah,
actually
mate.
used headphones now. I'm old school on a wire. Yeah, don't forget the hacking game as well. There's unknown mechanics behind that, but the way that that's being marketed and pushed, that's highly likely to have tax implications that feed into the pig vault as well.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
hacking game isn't there that's built on top.
Yeah, we don't
In
know
essence,
too
like
much, do we,
farm
about the
reopening.
drip part yet? But I reckon, yeah, that's going to help too. Forex knows what he's doing with all these little things, and everything that he does helps drip, doesn't it? And there's no way to ever let drip just like fall away. It's his baby. He always says that, and we've got so much coming for drip that anyone that wants to get in who's not in right now is the perfect price point, in my opinion. You can get in now and buy. When I first got in, it was $110 or something like that. And now it's incredible value.
Snap, I got in early February, and I think it was $120 or $115. So 1,000 English pound got me 10 compared to where we are now.
Exactly, mate. It's. I mean, I do wish I would have got in at these price points, but I think we're going to see some good things very soon. As soon as Forex gives a date, you'll see the price start to go up and that tax vault fill up. But I'm not concerned about the sustainability in the future because of what's coming for the token. I mean, it's going to be really, really good. The tax vault will be. When I first got into drip, the tax vault was huge. There was so much drip in there, and we'll get back to those points, I'm sure. And I don't think drip on itself over time would be sustainable, but I think you'd see the price would go down if it wasn't for the utility, because over time you'd have to mint to pay out, and that won't be the case with all this new stuff coming out.
Chips, you or DeFi Logic, can you guys just explain to some of the people how the contract balance actually works like, and when does minting tokens, the drip tokens, start, and how does the reservoir help the drip price?
DeFi, do you want to go or?
I'm just playing around with mic settings more to see if I can get them louder. So if you go, mate.
All right, no worries.
There's also some reservoir specialist dudes as well. I don't know if they're in the call in the group, aren't there?
I don't know, mate. But well, the contract balance for drip. You're about drip, not the garden, right? Phoebe, you say contract balance. It reminds me of garden.
Yes. In drip, like when the actual contract balance goes up to, like, say what it's now, maybe 270 or 230 or whatever, what's the meaning behind that? Why did it go up, and how is the reservoir helping the drip price?
Right. So you're on about the circulating supply, I think, there, Phoebe. With the balance on the drip site. That is the tokens that are available to buy on the drip decks. So we've got two pools. We've got PancakeSwap and the drip decks. And so if you are buying on the drip decks, you'll see that supply go down in a bull run. When people sell, it adds to the supply that circulates, which makes the token have less value. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about sustainability, because all the things that Forex is going to release will help that supply stay low, and especially with the minted tokens. But the reservoir, I mean, Forex goes on about the reservoir lately, doesn't it? Quite a lot. But basically, when people put into the reservoir, you're helping drip's liquidity. So the higher that is, the higher the floor can be. If you go back to a set level in the past, I think this is what the Reservoir group does. They'll compare the last time the price was at a set level, and you'll see the supply in a past period would have been lower for the same price, higher for the same price. So over time, when people put into the reservoir and say that the token stayed at the same supply, you'd see the price always going up just because people are adding to the liquidity pool. I think Lissanro's in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I first would like to address a question about sustainability. In addition to all you already said, there's also a few things, including the reservoir, of course. First, a concern many people have is that many tokens were minted. But as long as quantity of minted tokens is less than total quantity of tokens locked up in other smart contracts, it is not really causing an inflation because there is no much difference if tokens are locked up in another contract or in the tax vault. This is something I think I said even before Forex himself said something similar, because it is just was obvious to me from how the tokenomics works. And currently we have a huge quantity of tokens locked up in pancake swap liquidity pool, for example. This is also helps sustainability. For example, many people hoard huge amounts of DRIP tokens and plan to sell them. But when they do, at least half of them, if not more, is going to end up in a pancake swap liquidity pool, and it will not going to hit native DEX. This is important because the price of a drip, it depends first of all on native DEX. And this is adds not only sustainability, this also reduces price volatility, not only caused by panic sells, but also caused by BNB volatility, because I think even slightly more than a half of our liquidity is currently in pancake swap, and it is tied to BUSD. So it is not affected directly by BNB volatility. And of course, a reservoir itself also comes into play here. The greater amount, the greater quantity of drops we have in it, the less the price affected when somebody sells, and also it helps to push price up, and it makes a lot of difference because thanks to the reservoir, we already have the price currently much higher than it would be if we did not have our reservoir movement. So we already made a huge difference, and this also helps to reduce volatility because of panic sells. When many people sell at once, when we have a huge reservoir balance, uh, the price does not go down as much if we had much less drops. I some time ago created online C-trap which shows uh, current reservoir balance and all the stats. And one of the stats it shows it is so-called adjusted drip balance. Uh, it is what the price of drip would be if we had the same number of drops like we did back in September 2021. And this adjusted price is just about $3 instead of almost 9, which is currently we have. So the reservoir makes a very large difference on price. And another uh, important point about the reservoir that it is profitable to everybody who provides liquidity, even though it is not the main purpose of the reservoir. Its main purpose is to provide liquidity, obviously, to hold chart of the reservoir balance. It is steadily growing during bear cycles, even before the reservoir movement has started. It was growing, even though at a slower pace because not many people knew about it back then. But who discovered it, who uh, started to understand it, they decided to stay in it. People rarely withdraw drops because basically by continuing holding drops, they already can earn rewards without selling native tokens. And over long term, they not only get all the value they invested in the reservoir, they continue to earn money even after that. Of course, the reservoir is not a quick way to get rich. It is something of it is a long-term investment, but it is very stable. It has much less volatility. For example, when drip price dropped by 2 times, uh, drops price in the reservoir changed by about 15%. It may be more in some cases, but if we look at drops token all-time high, I think it was around 23 BNB. And since all-time high, drip price dropped almost 20 times. And currently, drops token price is about 9 BNB. So it changed much less than drip price. This also something that is good for long-term investors because they do not have to worry that if drip price drops, for example, 2 times, then their drops also drop too much. This is also, I think, a reason why people continue to stay in the reservoir because over time, they, even if they didn't knew this, when they invested in the reservoir. Over time, they start to understand that drops token is much less volatile, and reservoir continues to pay out rewards, even if these rewards as not as high as in the faucet. They are much more stable and predictable. So for everyone who believes in a drip ecosystem and in its long-term sustainability, uh, a reservoir is basically a perfect play for them, because they over the years not only make everything they invested, but also continue earn money after that. This is a reason, for example, why some people who have max out wallet said they are going to put all their earnings from one of their max 2 wallets into the reservoir, because they understand that maybe in short term they will not get as much money, but over the long term they're going to earn more money this way, and also they will support the ecosystem which earns the money. So this is another reason why reservoir is attractive to investors. And one more thing, uh, I often see people ask question if it is good to sell drip to put in the reservoir. Of course, it is always better to put fresh capital if possible. And when somebody just started to build up their bag in the faucet and in the reservoir, of course, it is better to put fresh capital in. But at some point, when deposits in faucet grow so much that they can even quit their job, they can live off their rewards they get in the faucet. Uh, the faucet becomes their primary income. So this is when it is makes sense to put at least some of rewards from the faucet into the reservoir. In the short term, this may put some additional self pressure, but when buying drops token, about half of the BNB is used to buy back drip. I say almost because there's 10% tax, so it is slightly less than half. But other half is used. It is staying as BNB, but it stays in the ecosystem. So it is also provides value to the ecosystem, and taxes which are paid during claim, then sell, then investing into the reservoir. These taxes also go to support the ecosystem. So when somebody sells drip in order to invest into the reservoir, all this money still stays into the system. So it is different when somebody sells and then just withdraws this money into fiat currency, for example, out of the ecosystem. When they put it into the reservoir, it stays in the ecosystem. And not only that, it also adds sustainability to it. So there is nothing wrong with selling drip to put into the reservoir. Fresh capital is always better, of course, but it is also perfectly okay to sell some drip and then put it into the reservoir.
Wow,
I
that's
have
a great insight by Lisandro. So I think Mark has got a question about the garden and the plants. Can you chip in? Hello, Chips.
What's this question again? Sorry.
Yep. Is my
Chips, go
microphone
ahead.
working?
Yeah, you're fine.
Can I actually be heard now? Amazing. Yeah, sorry, so Mark. So with the garden, there's some key bits just to separate out or to get an understanding of. So when people say LP, there are two different types of LP. There's the LP that's the liquidity pool of what you exchange your seeds for, which is the drip BUSD price. And then there's the LP per plant, which is what you generate by your plant holding. And that is the amount of seeds that you create on a day that you then sell for the drip BUSD. So the way or the movement of the drip price only affects the drip BUSD price. So that is leveraged against the price of drip. So that's where you'll see, like last week or middle of the week just past, it was around $11. I think now drip's gone back down to around 10.50 or something. So that is because of the price of drip, and then it's also the other half of it within the liquidity pool is against BUSD, which where it's a stable coin that reduces the volatility. So that's why you don't see that price move as much as you would do with drip. Then on the other side, you've got the LP per plant, which the tools from either DevStreak or Loop Charters will allow you to see the LP that you create per day. Now, that figure of the LP per plant is identified by taking the contract balance of the garden. And I can post some links, or if we do a follow-up video of this, all of the links that you can see this information yourself in either the BSC scan or in the tools that some of those guys provide. So if you take the contract balance and then you take the number of plants that are in the contract, which is constantly growing, you've got new people coming in contract, buying, starting new gardens. You've got people that already have gardens that whenever they plant new plants or compound, they're adding plants to the contract. And then you've got the huge gardens that I think the largest wallet now is generating around 600,000 plants every 24 hours. So your number of plants in the contract is constantly increasing. And then you've got your contract balance number. Now, the contract balance and that number, when you divide them, that gives you your per plant LP. And that's the price at that time. Now, the decay rate that everybody speaks about, that is that price, aka the contract balance divided by the number of plants in the contract, measured between a 24 window difference. So the decay rate is how much that per plant LP has changed from, say, 3 p.m. UTC yesterday to 3 p.m. UTC today. And that's what gives you the decay rate. Now, if you think that you've got new plants being added all the time from new people starting gardens and compounding, etc., that number's constantly going up. And if the contract balance isn't going up in parallel, or in worst scenario that it's reducing because everybody's harvesting, then your decay rate is higher. So when you harvest each day, you increase your holding by 0.3%. Now, every time that the decay rate is under 3.3%, when you harvest, your LP that you generate per day, that will increase by whatever that difference is. So if the decay rate is minus 2.3, and you've you've compounded your entire 24 hours, then the LP that you generate per day will increase by 1% by just compounding, not harvesting. So the LP per day that you generate, so once you get to 1 LP that you're generating, say, and you can track this, like I say, through Dev Street tools, or there are other ones available, that is your percentage of what the drip BUSD price is as to what you would get per day. So if the drip BUSD price is $10 and you are creating 0.5 LP per day, then that will transition to a dollar rate of $5. If the drip BUSD was $20 because of price changes in price and drip, and you had 0.5 LP, then that amount of seed you generate will be worth $10. If you are generating 1 LP of seeds per day and BUSD is 20, then you'll get $20, and that goes around in increasing circles. If you're generating 3 LP per day and drip BUSD is 20, then you'll get $60. So the price is a constantly changing thing because there are so many variables involved. I don't think that came across as simply as I would have liked, but it is quite a complex subject. So if anyone wants any of that repeated, then please say, or tips if you've got anything to correct my homework on there.
No, mate, that was pretty good. Maybe just talk about the inflation a bit on the plants, because we was on about the other day about the whales are getting too big now, and the inflation is getting too much. Even on a good day for the garden, the LP per plant might start going down.
Yeah, there's it's getting to a point now where, because there are so many large gardens, and I think when I looked this morning, I think there's over 400 wallets now with 1 million plants. So each time they compound, that's increasing the number of plants in the contract, and it's growing at a very quick rate. I think not yesterday, the day before, there were 31 million new plants. So that is adding new plants, and that's a higher number. So if your contract balance isn't growing in parallel with that, then your decay rate is going to be in the higher levels. I think where the garden is so cleverly designed is that if you have such a large garden, and this is, I think I mentioned it in a couple of chats the other day, that if you're in the garden, you should have an exit strategy in mind, and what do you want from it? People tend to think, oh, I just want to keep harvesting until I've got 10 million plants or 100 million plants, etc. I think what some of those large gardens will now be starting to see and identify is that because they're generating a larger amount of LP per day, and they're increasing the number of plants in the contract, then that will, over the next period of time, unless animal farm opening is obviously, well, in theory, should increase the contract balance, which then may slow this process down. But I think it's going to get there as an end goal. When it will be, I'm not sure. But it will get to a point where people have got such large gardens that them constantly compounding is leading to higher decay rates, and the higher decay rates will be impacted on them more, because if you're taking 2% decay off of 10 LP a day versus 1 LP a day, you're going to see your takings come down much quicker. And it will get to a point where that realization will happen. And then those people with the larger gardens will think, well, hold on a minute, if I keep compounding just because I've got this, I want 100 million plants in my head, I'm actually going to earn less. So they will get a point where they will then have to start harvesting, because either they'll get fear through the decay rate being higher, or they will just join the dots on it that you can keep adding plants to it, but you're actually increasing the likelihood of the decay hurting your garden by doing so. So when that happens and they're not they're not compounding regularly, then the number of new plants coming into the contract slows down. Then that leads to the contract balance not needing to lift so much. which then reduces decay for everybody. And then the circle starts again. So those that are in like the 600, 700,000 plants, they then kind of move to the top because everyone else has harvested out. And that's why it's so cleverly designed and the sustainability is there. I just don't think that those that are currently what I would call garden whales realise that if they just keep going the way they are and they don't think, when am I going to exit, they're actually going to end up causing themselves more damage.
Thanks, Deepan. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that this one of the questions that I was going to ask as well. Thanks for asking that one or answering the question. So basically, Sandro, you said that the reservoir, in fact, if the farm opens up and the drip BUSD pools and everything opens up, we'll see a change in the reservoir, BMB wise per drop then, and then it will probably give out a bit of more rewards to people that hold drops into the reservoir. And in the garden, DeFi, UN chips, you actually, in short, saying that it's actually then healthy for the bigger guys with 2 million or 4 million plants to sell a little bit to bring the contract balance down. So the number of plants generated each day will get a bit less and it will slow down the decay, if I understand correctly. And yeah, when the farms open up, that will also bring the LP price a bit up then. So we'll probably see a lot of whales then selling. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the danger zone, the garden, I say danger zone, that's probably causing more fear than anything needed, but it's getting to the point now where there are so many plants generated per day by those large gardens that the number of plants in the contract, this is the key thing to remember. And again, I get that it can be complex. So for the per plant LP, the only thing you care about is the contract balance and the number of plants in the contract and how they are running in parallel. DevStreaks recently added a status page to his tool where you can actually see the percentage change in the contract balance. I think he's got some of the terminology wrong. It says it's a positive when it wouldn't necessarily be. Technically, it is a positive because it's improved, but it growing is a negative to people in the garden. So you can track what they're doing. And then the other, I mean, the key metric for the whole garden is the number of plants in the contract, because that also drives the plant of price, the price of the plants, which when you want to DCA into it or anyone new coming into it, that also leads to that, because that is the number of plants in the contract divided by the dollar value of the contract. That's what identifies the per plant price. So the key metric is the number of plants in the contract, and at the moment they're growing at a level where you're seeing the decay rates that we were on in, say, late June, early July, which were in parallel with the contract balance shrinking. The contract balance has grown every day by a different amount since the 2nd of August this month, yet you're seeing the same decay levels on average that you were when the contract balance was shrinking. And that's entirely because of the number of plants being added to the contract. If for any reason Animal Farm is delayed, or it launches and then they have to pause it and do it again, or there's an other thing that could lead to the contract balance coming back down in the garden, not at the speed it was, but just it reverses, then the decay rates would be very high. And that might be a good thing, because those decay rates being high will be then what gets the larger gardens to start harvesting rather than having this mindset of the more plants I have, the better, because the more plants they have, the more they're adding to the contract, which is then increasing the decay rate. I hope that makes sense, because like I say, I've said many times, it is quite complex.
I think as well, DeFi, people shouldn't be scared to harvest as well, because when the farm's open, it's very powerful to get pigs in the pig pen, and the garden can get you pigs by harvesting and then putting them in the farms. And that's kind of what I love about Animal Farm, is you can go through the ecosystem from the garden, you can farm, you go to the pig pen, and you never have to sell your assets, if you will, because you're going to get USD. And anyone that wants to sell from the garden should have a goal in mind, whether they want to fill the faucet or go into the farms, in my opinion. And that's because the pig pen, I think, will be really good when we launch, after September or whenever it is. That's going to pay out a lot, I reckon, as well. So those big whales just holding or playing a game of chicken with their garden, they could be farming pigs, which are, so it's not like you harvest from your garden and it's gone. You're still, your ROI has just gone somewhere else. You've still got it, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's not financial advice, but my own path now, my focus is on increasing my pig holding. A reason behind that being that there is only a set amount of them. So once they're gone, which has the strong potential to increase their price once everything that's available is held. There's no new minting of them. And all of the other animal farm activity, all of the taxes, the dog stuff, the unknown of the hacking game, the unknown of the scratchies, I don't think that's gone into details. They're all elements that are going to feed into the vault, which has only been on the way down since the farm paused. So the pig pen, in essence, there's a vault of dollars, BUSD, and there's a vault of pigs. And actions elsewhere in Animal Farm, taxes and things from there will populate the vault and the number of pigs in there. So there's not any activity to grow those at the moment. Based on the number of pigs you hold, it gives you a percentage of what you hold in the contract. And then every day, every 24 hours, based on your percentage holding of, every day, 3% of the pig vault and the BUSD vault that's been generated through other activity on the animal farm is shared amongst everyone that holds pigs. And based on the number of pigs you hold, you will get a percentage. Your percentage hold of all of them, you'll get that percentage of the 3% every 24 hours. So you don't need to sell them to get passive income. If you did want to sell them because their price increases, you can only sell 2% a day. But everything from a white paper's perspective and the little bits of pieces that have come out from Forex, reading between the lines, and again, this isn't financial advice, this is just my own take, everything seems to point towards pigs being the end goal, because that is, if you're holding the pigs, then you have a say in the governance, and I think they have a voting structure on new features. But everything just leads to having the pigs so that it's passive income, you don't have to sell. That is the direction I'm going. I was just explaining how the rewards of the pig pen work, not the bank, just to clarify, there's piggy bank and pig pen. But I think people are holding pigs at the moment and they're not thinking it's worthwhile, because it is literally, say, if you hold 10, you're generating maybe 12, 13 cents a day. That is because the reward vault is constantly shrinking and has been reversing since Animal Farm was paused. I believe when Animal Farm was open, it was in the millions, and I think it's around 120,000 at the moment. If it goes back to those levels or higher, then you're going to get more rewards per day, and the more pigs you got, the more percentage of the contract you've got, so the more percentage of that 3% every day you will gain.
Okay, we have K3 here. Recently, he created a Scratchy related Telegram, which is really a good place to know about a Scratchy. K3, would you like to share something about a Scratchy?
Yeah, sure. I want to say thanks to everybody that's joined in the new Telegram group. Again, it's not official. We kind of got the attention of some of the higher ups, and I think it's better that we make sure that people know that this is just for information and education. But what we really want to do with this is turn it into just a promotional vehicle for everyone that wants to, make their own YouTube channels, write their own articles. We really want to promote everybody that's going to promote Scratchy. I think that once we get to that critical marketing point,
Brother, can you increase your mic volume? K3, can you increase your mic volume? It's pretty low.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
can you input volume up a bit? Because some of us have you on max, but we still can't hear you clearly.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I've got it up as high as I can go. Still not clear?
Yeah, it's just a bit low. It's a bit hard to hear.
Yeah,
Are you able to
sorry.
adjust your input volume on your computer?
I'm on my phone. It could be.
Oh, on your phone. Okay.
Okay, brother, you can continue.
Anyway, I'll probably need to circle back when I get this audio issue sorted. But for everyone that can hear me, what we're doing with the TG group, the new Telegram group, is really want to make this into a massive promotional vehicle. So we also want to gather all the information that we can from the community, everything that we know about Scratchy right now. We want to get in there, and everything that comes out that's new, we want to update and make sure that everyone's on the same page. So anything that you have to contribute, if there's anything I missed or if anything looks wrong, I'd love it if you contribute a little to that Telegram group. Now, we all know the basics of Scratchy, the buybacks, 15% of all sales. This can really add a lot of buy-side pressure and send a lot more to the tax vault. So it's just, you know me, I'm very, very bullish on this. I want to make sure that everybody else gets on the same page and has a similar idea. So anything we can do to help will be very much appreciated.
Yo, can you go mute, please?
Not your hair, though.
Cute kid, though.
Thank you, K3. It was good to hear about the Scratchy and DEFI Logic and chips and Lissanro. Any other questions? I think I saw a few in the group again.
I think Vicky Lady Drip wants to ask something about garden. Vicky, you can ask.
Hello, everybody. You know I know nothing about the garden, so don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I'm just into the faucet, so yeah.
We just
listen here, Chief. Chief, I owe you one. I owe you one.
we just want to have some fun with you. Okay, Groot, I think you want to ask something. Groot, ask. Yes, brother, ask.
Groot wanted to ask, what is Bray?
Okay, I'll answer that one. Okay, Bry is when you pack like a stack of wood.
Brother, we can keep a separate VC for that.
Okay, I'll do a step-by-step video in my new YouTube channel.
Yeah. And the last, you must crawl.
Hello.
Okay, guys,
Guys,
I think it's
Can you hear
enough
Gary?
time. We can close now.
I think Gary was talking.
Is Gary audible?
Yep.
Gary was talking.
we
Can you
can
hear me
hear
well?
you, Gary.
There's been a lot of talk about drip, about the reservoir, about Scratchy Animal Farm, but a lot of that was computational math. There are also considerations. The 400 plus people who have over 1 million plants. Well, generally those people probably have money. Many did not hydrate all the way, or many got in at the beginning. So if you have money, you don't want the trouble of going in there and harvesting every day. DeFi Logic touched on it. You're going to go in once the animal farm opens and all these things successively come out, and they're gonna take money from that. They're getting those large positions to get that money out of there, because they don't want something they have to tend to. As many times as I watch YouTube videos and talk to whales, they don't want something they have to hold their hand every day and do something. That's why the dogs, the new auto compound feature, is so exciting among them. And the same thing goes for the reservoir. All of this stuff is just early. All of it is a lot of how people feel about it. So all the people that have got into the drip and the reservoir, they're just going away. They're slowly going away. They're timing out. The whales are having to do new wallets. We're in a fantastic time. The garden, we should all get into it because it can reset. They're probably not going to keep growing their position. They're probably going to flame it down with their compounding, and therefore their percentage is going to go very far down. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, I agree, Gary. Again, we touched on the whales earlier in the garden, but I don't think they like the garden too much in terms of what you said, because if you leave the garden unattended and just leave your LP to accumulate, the LP that you've earned as well, that is subject to decay. So if you just leave rewards to build, that value in terms of LP per seed will go down because you're not compounding in the system. So yeah, they need to get a move on and get their money out, I think.
Cody, you want to say something?
Where is Groot? Where is Groot? Find Groot.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions left,
No,
I think
Feby,
I'm just
without Groot question, it's unfair to close the VC. Please wait for him. He's in washroom. We can wait for him.
Phoebe, while we wait for
yes.
Groot, do you want to talk about the orphanage? That's what we're all here for, right? As well, and how that's going to help those guys, because that's something that's close to me now. So that'd be really good to hear about.
Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so the orphanage, I spoke to them. There's quite a few good ideas that came up as well. I'm just going to share it quickly with you. Nothing is set in stone yet, but one of the ideas that came up was later on starting them in the pig pen as well, so they wouldn't have to touch the drip for sustainable income each day. And the other one was making in the future making wallets for the children when they leave the orphanage, have them like set, but not set for life, but maybe to compound those wallets maybe a year or two from now, and they could have a stable income as well. And the project with the BNB we gathered for the orphanage, or the donations we got for the orphanage, was 4.5 BNB. And just to let everybody know that the orphanage, they are in full control of the wallet. I don't have any any say in that at any time. I don't have what do you call it, access to the wallet. The only thing I can see is on the dripnetwork.ca. So that's where I usually just check and let them know when to compound. They are compounding each day now. I don't think they're compounding on weekends because they use the set work laptop there with the VPN and everything set up for them. So yeah, the next step with the BNB we got for the donations is to do the paint project that we spoke about last week. So we got a few quotes from laborers, and we got the paint manufacturing company that's gonna give us a good price on the paint, and we're gonna start repainting the houses. I think 2 was already painted, so there's about 4 left, and we're gonna hopefully we can do about 2 of them, 2 of the double stories. It's gonna take quite a lot of paint and preparation work and stuff. So yeah, hopefully we can get that sorted. I know the shortage of the orphanage is very high. That's because government only gives a certain percentage for them to live on. The rest they have to accumulate themselves by doing golf days, or they make some like pies or stuff and sell it in the local community. But the community here in South Africa, in Mauriceburg, is that not that big, and not everyone is as giving as us. So the day I went to them to tell them how many BNB they got and how much it was in ZAR, in rands, South African currency, they were dumbstruck. They didn't know what to do. They haven't really gotten that much from crypto, and they don't even knew really about crypto. But the financial manager, she's got everything sorted now. She's going to start her own wallet as well. And yeah, and there's another thing also that I forgot to mention. We're going to do a little coloring competition for the orphanage as well. That's an idea from our big admin, Rakesh. So we're going to get some DCA logoed coloring papers and let them color it in, and each of the children will each get a chocolate, and yeah, we'll get Groot, come on. We'll get all the staff members a chocolate as well. Just a good idea. All right. Other questions?
I would like to add something about orphanage because many people are here. We actually working so hard for orphanage, and few people. I don't want to go on that topic, but someone said we are scamming the people, which is correct, 100% incorrect. We will prove. We will prove everything. We are working on that. So when the right time will come, we will post everything. We are working on our YouTube channel, and hopefully we will come out with the 100%, not 100%. I think 1000% proof. So let's see. I don't want to disclose anything right now until we prepare to post. Maybe you can close the VC now because I think it's over an hour. Maybe Are you there? Cody, you want to say something?
Nothing much. I'd just like to thank everyone for being here. We had a very good participation. We never expected this much people to come in, honestly. But we got a very good insights about the reservoir, the garden system, and everything. And we also got lady to talk, Vicky to talk, and that's one highlight we had.
But
And we
without
are
Mark,
still waiting for Groot to talk.
no. Also, without Mark, it's incomplete. Mark, you want to say
Yeah.
something? Mark, are you there?
You want Mark? You want to chat and drive, Mark? Hello.
I think he's sleeping.
Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
there comes the
there it
hero.
is. Yeah, here it is. Here he is.
Yeah,
There he is.
Yes, there he is. There he is.
I haven't run away like Groot. What happened to Lady Drip? Nah, it's been nice hearing a bit of
Vicky,
everything.
you want to say something to Mark? Vicky, you want to say something to Mark?
No, she's run away.
No, she's here. She's listening.
Nah, it's been good. It's been good learning a bit of everything. But for me, basically, I'm more confused than before. But I've got Chips. Chip is my private. They obviously teaches me alone because if not, I would be totally lost in here. But yeah, it's good. It's been good.
Where is your monkey, Mark?
Don't know today. Today I haven't been there. I'm relaxing today.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Well,
good.
nada, bro. Take it easy, man.
Right.
Okay, Fabi, let's close this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody that
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
joined the voice chat and joined the chat in general. And I would just like to give a big shout out to our brother Ozone and Rakesh.
Yeah, I am missing my big brother. I really missing him. But he said in actually when I woke up in the morning, I I got his message that he was not around during the VCs. So hopefully next time he will come here.
Yeah, Ozone is a legend.
Definitely. No, we will.
Maybe we can do one thing. Next week we can also plan a VC with Ozone.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a lovely Sunday. And we'll do it next time.
Thank you, brother, for the great hosting. Thank you. I'm
I
closing.
didn't use my hosting voice, but I'll use it next time.
Okay, you can close now.
Thank you, everyone.